Whakatane has long been a battleground between the Black Power and the mongrel mob.
A lot of death, a lot of killing has been going on between both sides, especially here. A lot of hate, but that's been trickling down through generation to generation.
The conflict is often sparked by the death of a member of one of the gangs and the tangi that follows, when the funeral procession travels through the rival gang's territory. Was the tangi always just looking at the history, a red flag to...
Yep, to have another fight, to do another killing, you know, to hurt another brother of the fist.
Billy Mihinui has been in the mob all his life, and that means he's been fighting the local Black Power all his life.
I rumbled them all the way through my upbringing.
TK grew up on the other side.
Rape, pillage, plunder. That was the mindset back then.
His father was a leader in the Whakatane Black Power.
My dad asked us all, what do you want to be when you get older? That was my response, I want to be a Black Power, like you. My papa was went to prison twice for murder.
For murder?
Yep.
But his father changed as he got older and believed the Black Power had to change as well.
His culture back then, the culture that he was a part of back then, he did not want to put that on us. So he took it upon himself to change it for us.
Individual chapters very much rule themselves. TK's father believed the way forward was to reclaim their Māori culture. Their chapter became known as Black Power Movement Whakatane.
For us here, it's the foundation block. You're understanding who you are as Māori, as a tangata whenua, and being able to tap into and draw from those histories and apply it in this time.
We are privileged to be filming this. It's a formal acknowledgement of a recent peace agreement made between the local chapters of the Black Power and mongrel mob. In early 2020, a mongrel mob member died. Despite being a mobster, he was part of TK's whānau. So tradition demanded that he be buried on this land, this whenua, which is occupied by Black Power. It was a powder keg situation.
So when our brother died, I knew we were coming here. And I knew that if we didn't start communicating, there would be another death on top of a death.
Text messages led to TK and Billy and several other members meeting face to face. They agreed to put aside their differences for the burial to take place.
I looked up at Billy, I said, you have my word. You have my word that the way is clear.
The final part of this ceremony takes place down at the local river. Watching this, I can see why Carl draws the parallel between gangs and ancient warrior groups, and why he believes gangs are just one way men express their hyper-masculine tendencies.
You've got hyper-masculine groups that we celebrate. The All Blacks, rugby league teams, the police. Some of the military units we have in this country are celebrated, and they're hyper-masculine groups.
So if this hyper-masculinity is so ingrained in a lot of men, does that mean we have to accept it?
I don't think we should ever accept violence. I think we need to understand it, though. We need to understand where it comes from.
These men were born into violence and have grown up with it. I can only imagine how big a step it was for Billy and TK to make that peace agreement.
My head was fighting with it. My head was really fighting with it. Like, I was brought up to hating the brothers of the fist.
On the day, it all went smoothly.
We cleared the whenua so that the mob could come and bury their brother in peace.
The outcome was amazing. You know, the brothers of the fist, they were all here but not seen.
Never had been done before in our history.
A few months later, history repeated, except in reverse. A Black Power member had died. There was another meeting between TK and Billy, and the mob granted safe passage for Black Power to travel through their territory to bury their brother. But it seems so straightforward that you've overturned 40 years of difficult behaviour.
I think when you look at those 40 years, you have to ask, do I want to continue that 40 years? And the answer that came to me was, no, I don't. And I will do whatever it takes with whoever is willing to do it with me to ensure the safety of our people and of our children.